7 Action News, always taking action for you.
We begin tonight with the breaking news of the financial status of Detroit. A financial manager now seems inevitable. A state-appointed review team declaring a financial emergency.
We have Team 7 coverage tonight. Tom Waite is getting the mayor's reaction, but first Jim Kurtzner is downtown. And this report now in the hands of the governor. Jim.
That's right, Joanne, and now they have to go on the sales pitch, if you will. And joining us live is State Treasurer Andy Dillon. You outlined the numbers here. They solidify what we have surmised for weeks, but now you have to sell it to this community we can see right out the window. How do you do that?
I think by communicating, explaining to them the financial condition of the city and continuing to reach out to the mayor and council and local leaders, which we have been doing for months. And yeah, I'd say I meet every 2 weeks with a group of local leaders to explain to them where we are in the process, why we're coming to the findings that we are. And I think the understanding of why we're here is much greater today than it was maybe a year ago.
Is an emergency financial manager inevitable now? I know it's up to the governor. He has 30 days. The city can ask for a hearing after that, but the numbers are what they are, and they're bleak.
Yeah, but I do think it's fixable. I think that there's a bright future for the city, and I made my recommendation to the governor. He just got the report today, so we'll let him read it.
What can you tell this community that the emergency financial manager does that the city has not been able to do in the last year?
Yeah, that was one of the last pieces of the puzzle for me. I mean, in the last year, we observed a consent agreement that had a lot of good intentions behind it, but a lot of hurdles were in its way and prevented or blocked the mayor or council from implementing a lot of the reforms that were agreed upon in it. In fact, most of the reforms were put in there by council or by the city saying, we know we need to do these things. And for a variety of reasons, it's just very difficult with the governance structure and the charter that the city has to implement meaningful reforms. I spent the last 2-3 weeks looking at the city's charter to find out, right, how can that interfere with the city's ability to implement reform. And that was kind of the final straw for me. Is that
That's the trump card.
To me it is, yeah.
Okay. Now we're already getting some initial reaction. One is from Gary Brown, city council member. Pretty articulate guy, pretty reasonable guy. He says he welcomes a continuing partnership with the state, but if there's a takeover and an EFM, his word is draconian.
Yeah. Well, I agree with him. I mean, I've already reached out to the mayor today, and I've called every member of council. This can be a partnership, and I hope that it is. I don't think that we want to come barging in. If you look at our relationships in Flint and Pontiac, you know, the mayors are working with the managers there, and I would hope that in this case it could even be council that are, you know, part of the solution. And there's a lot of great work being done right now by the consultants the council and the mayor brought in. I mean, they have the framework of a plan that I think needs, you know, in my opinion, you know, one decision maker that can implement. But they're crafting this plan, and it has a 10-year look out vision for it. And, you know, I'm hoping that we can implement that together with the mayor and with council.
Last question I have is people want to know, because you talk about a $100 million deficit by the end of this year, and also hasn't had a positive balance since 2004. And we know city services have suffered. If they call for police, if they call for fire, if they call for EMS, will services improve?
I believe so. I think that, you know, I look at it two things. One is, all right, the balance sheet is a little bit challenged in Detroit, but so are the operations. And I think that money can be spent in a better way so that the city workers are compensated better, and we're actually deploying the resources in the areas that the citizens need. If you look at the lighting authority, you know, we look forward to being able to hang lights this summer. We look forward to getting a police department that has more resources dedicated to servicing the residents rather than maybe working behind a desk.
State Treasurer Andy Dillon, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
So there you have it. That's the recommendation to the governor. You know the timetable, 30 days for him to decide, but he's indicated it will not take that long. Back to you.
Yeah, Jim, despite all those problems, it's nice to have him say a bright future for the city of Detroit. So, Jim, thank you very much. Next on our Team 7 coverage, it continues tonight with Tom Waite. He's gathering reaction from the mayor tonight. Tom, what have you heard?
And right now the mayor is not releasing any statement, but he says maybe in the next 2 hours he could have something out. As far as a press conference right now, nothing on camera, so we're kind of in a holding pattern waiting for the mayor's response to this report, to the earlier press conference. Of course, last week during the State of the City address, he addressed the issue of possible takeover by the state. He said that he hoped that wouldn't happen, that he had done a number of reforms that would protect the city from that happening. He said he reduced the city's payroll, that he cut salaries for city employees, not just police and fire, but also for other city staff positions, that he was hoping that those reforms and those measures that he took would help stave off a possible takeover. So right now you have to think he's probably meeting with his staff to figure out what is next. Reporting live at City Hall outside the mayor's office, I'm Tom Waite, 7 Action News. Joanne, back to you.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. And we want to go live now to 7 Action News reporter Cheryl Choden, who can tell us what city council leaders are saying about this breaking story. Now, Cheryl.
Well, Joanne, actually, city council members are getting ready for a community meeting tonight, and we're told they will have something to say about this at that meeting tonight. We raced down here to try to get some reaction, but they all left a little early, we're told, because of this community meeting. The council chambers, it was dark, and so was the office, but I did talk to one staffer who again said they would make some comment. And Jim Kurtzner, you heard him say that Gary Brown is the one who did tweet out that they thought they needed a partnership with the state, but he did feel that an EFM, not that that's happened yet, but it certainly is the option, would be too draconian, which of course means too severe, and that is Gary Brown's opinion. So far, we have not heard from the other council members, but we expect to hear from them tonight, as well as community members. So we'll be at that meeting tonight at 7 o'clock. Council members will be there, and we'll bring you what they have to say. Reporting live at City Hall, I'm Cheryl Choden, 7 Action News.
Cheryl, thank you very much. We'll, of course, have more on this breaking news story throughout the newscast today. At 5:30, we take a closer look at what the city is facing.